G'day guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, our last episode before the trials finish and before we head over to Sin City, Timbo. I cannot wait. How are we feeling?
I'm so G'd up. I'm very, very excited for it.
Like you go tomorrow.
I go tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, good, very jealous.
Ready to rock.
Unreal, yeah. So our next episode, next time you see us, will be from Las Vegas, which will be very, very exciting. We've got an enormous episode coming your way tonight. We have combined CTW and 2RF. Why have we done that? I think because we're fucking idiots.
I like it, mate.
I knew you would because you're an idiot as well.
It shows ticker, and we're at a new recording time this year. Same release time, but we are recording of a Tuesday night. This is to make my life simpler, having moved out of the Sydney region. Timmy. I appreciate it, guys. But the early signs are that energy is high. Kat in particular.
You reckon?
I haven't spent a lot of time with Kat post, 8 p.m, but she's up and about.
Before I do bring in Kat, I would just like to share a story with all involved because I'm a little bit embarrassed, if I'm honest. As we've got the late recording time, Timmy was doing SC Playbook, so I said to Kat, you know what, let's go for a little treat. Let's go out for dinner. Went across the road to the very fancy place across the road, a little bit exy. I thought this will be nice, this will be great. We had a nice little yarn. Good gear. And then, I got myself a pretty expensive steak that was fantastic, by the way.
$55 steak.
$55 steak. Kat got her dinner. And then
$25 salad.
The old dog and bone died halfway through dinner and I couldn't pay for it. So I had to say to Kat, oh, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go up. So I ordered 7 more sides before she did and called it a day.
And Guru wonders why all those first dates went wrong back in the day. It can't have been me. My chat was fantastic.
The oldest trick in the book. I apologise, Kat.
Yeah, well, the difference is I can just chuck it on my next invoice, can't I?
Yeah.
Nah, it's my pleasure to pay for you. You've done a lot for the old Rugby League Guru production, so it's the least I can do. So you're very welcome.
Yeah, I've had many moments that I'm not proud of. That was definitely one of them. But can't win them all. We move on. SC Playbook, what's doing? Talk to me.
Mate, last night's episode, Desi Creek with his team reveal.
Yeah. Who's he got in there? Paul Sirenen?
The best one is, the funny thing, he'd pick 0 and he'd come out and average 80.
Of course he would. I know he would.
He'd be named round
at
one.
CTW.
No Terrell May is the big one.
Oh.
He's got, 3-gun fullbacks. He's gone as rogue as you imagined that Desi would. But, mate, we're all fired up. We're very close. Less than 2 weeks until the season starts. So the content is littered with stuff. Spoke about fixture analysis on the show last night. Easier, softest, hardest draws, all of that. Plenty happening in the next 2 weeks. How
good. And my Roo Crew SuperCoach comp has launched. If you're a Roo Crew member, $10 entry, all that money back to you guys, and I've thrown $1,000 dues on top of that. So if you'd like to join, link in the description, come join the Roo Crew. There's a pinned post in there. Costs you $10 to enter, then you can come in. We've got about 270 people in there, which is very exciting. And Timmy, I've got 270 people in the group. I've got 269 people that have paid for it. They're a good bunch in SuperCoach.
Faith in humanity restored, Roo.
Oh, incredible.
And I say it at the end of every season, the SuperCoach community, particularly like the Playbook community, the Beers community, it sounds like a beat up. It's genuinely good people. There are so few rotten eggs in there. And I think that's a sign of it. There's no links being shared, any of that shit. And if you do find them, well, they can get wrecked. They're going to be found out.
Yeah, and if I can find that one person, let it be known you're going to wash up on a beach soon. So prepare yourself.
You've been warned.
But yeah, shout out Roo Crew. Go and join it. Go be a part of it. It's going to be fantastic. Now,
can we also shout out Roo Crew from today?
Yeah.
So we went to South Sydney Rabbitohs to partake, and I hosted and we participated in a training session with fans, and we had tickets go out to the Roo Crew. So there were 4 members who came. They won the whole day, guys. They won the whole day. Roo Crew is elite.
4 contracts with the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Huge.
A couple of cheapies coming your way. Brace yourself. Yeah, a few CBAs getting around. Oh, what about yesterday? Owen Paddy's my CBA of the year. Gets re-signed for 4 years. Okay. Now, let's get on to important things when it comes to beers and break-evens. We have got our league code for this year, which is very, very exciting. Whilst I get that, you can also add me and Timmy as experts this year. I appreciate the title. So you can add us into all your leagues and everything. But our league code is
2954666. 2, 9, 5, 4, 6, 6.
You will see it in the screen. It could be here. It could be there. It could be there. I don't know where Kat's
I'm
going
just
to put it.
going to put it anywhere you didn't put your hand.
Come and join the league code. It will lock out, I think, round 8, we said.
Yeah.
8 or 9 or something.
8 or 9,
8.
something around that. Get in there, be a part of it. I think we ended up with about 13,000 people last year. I'm looking to bump that up. Prize money, guys, it will be at absolute minimum the same as last year, but we will be in contact with you about that very soon. We'll be launching that in Las Vegas, so stay tuned for that, along with a couple of other announcements in Las Vegas, which are going to be very, very excitement, which I can't wait for.
Big things coming for beers and breakevens, as you said, to be announced within a week, Roo.
Big old things coming your way. So brace yourself for that. Is there anything else?
No. Let's get into it.
Kat, anything?
No, I mean, I just wanted to acknowledge Timmy's comment earlier about my energy that I'm bringing to the studio today. And it's just because I'm usually non-verbal in the mornings. And so what you're actually seeing is the verbal version of me where I'm actually willing to speak.
You can see a verbal Cat throwing a bit of shade, a couple of good calls already.
Thank you.
I'll be coughing less into the mic because it's night time.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, so
I will believe it when I see it, Timber.
Yeah, I shouldn't
Prove
have
me
said,
wrong.
I shouldn't have said that now. I've put myself
You've
under
jinxed
pressure.
it now. I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out Butter Menthol. We are open for a sponsorship. Okay, let's get stuck into CTWs. We're going to start from the very top. Val Holmes, 784K. I actually think he'll do really well at the Dragons. I think it's overpriced, though. I think you'd be very, very brave to start with him, Timbo. Agree, disagree? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, not touching him, mate. A bit the same. Look, I think I've got higher hopes for the Dragons this year than last, and they did well last year. I just think all signs are positive down in the gong. It was very interesting to note that just watching their first trial on the weekend that Kyle Flanagan was the dominant half, got a lot of the ball, all went to the left where Val's played. My little super pod, I thought it might have been Moses Sully's year, went to the right edge, which got all the ball last year, and now the right edge is going to catch a cold. So unfortunately not, but Val will be getting plenty of ball.
My little super pod in that back line is going to be Tui Pelotu if he lands on the left edge. I think he's an interesting watch. We'll get to him, but Val Holmes, too expensive as it stands right now. I do think Timbo post-Origin, without looking at the Dragons draw, when he's a little bit cheaper, I will be looking at Val Holmes because I still think he's going to have a very good season.
Yeah, for sure. To digress kind of quickly, mate, we were going to do a little what we found from who stood out on the weekend in the trials.
Yes.
Who?
Do you want to do it now?
I'll start.
Yeah, what have you got? Take us away.
We're early enough into the
I think
CT dubs.
you guys are used to train wrecks here on Beers and Breakevens.
Well, actually, you know what? Mine are both in the CT dubs, so it works well.
Okay.
There was a bunch. We went through them quite in depth.
It's a very good point. We'll get to them.
Do you want me to wait?
I think we wait.
Okay.
Or do you want to go now?
What did you find from the trials, mate?
Okay, so what I found from the trials, I have to fall on my sword a little bit. My thing about Nico Hines last week was that, people were buying him and we just had no evidence it was going to improve. I thought last week, the Sharkies halves, I think they looked more balanced than what I've seen previously. I will say this, though, Tim, on the other side of that, I think that they got absolutely played off the park by the Canberra Raiders in the first 20. Once the Canberra Raiders stars came off, it got a little bit easier. But I did like the way that Nico played. The point you made a few weeks ago, even if he is at second receiver, he'll collect a lot more try assists and whatnot. I'm starting to see that. I was very against you guys starting with Nico. I don't think I will, but I can understand people doing it now that we have some evidence.
So the evidence that I already told you, you're reneging on Hines. I saw on your social media you're reneging on Tuilastiak as well. So what?
Yeah, let's not forget this time last year. I warned you all about Nico. You all told me I was fucking crazy. Now you're getting him dirt cheap. I wonder why. Calf injury.
He started unreal.
Last year?
Yeah.
And how'd the season play out for him?
Hurt his calf.
Oh, fucking please. Jesus Christ. Let's open some eyes out there, guys. All right, let's continue with our CTWs. Zach Lomax, I'm very interested. I've got him in my side. We'll see him in the Parramatta Eels colours for the first time this weekend. If he lines up on that right edge, as I'm expecting him to, I'm still going to be all over him. I believe he will goal kick, 773K. You got any interest, or are you still on the same fence?
I have no interest in Zach Lomax. I will. It's just he's so expensive. And he had Ben Hunt just put him on a dime for him all last season. I think Parramatta's attack between left and right edge is, with Brown and Moses, going to be a lot more balanced. Everything went to the right last year, scored so many tries. I think he'll do well this year. I think he's overpriced at the very least. I think I can see myself picking him up by around 5 or 6 for 650, 700K.
Yep.
I think, I don't like him.
Yep, fair shout. Yeah, he's my little pod player. I'm going to start with him, but we'll see how that plays out. Herbie Farmer, 728K. I have my concerns about the Finn this year, mate. Even their trial team that's been named is a little bit all over the place. I don't think we even know for sure yet what side Herbie's going to play if Bostock's moving back to the wing for trials and whatnot. So I will steer clear of Herbie for now. I'm happy to get a little sample size and get an understanding for the Dolphins. Then I'll have a look at him, but not for me to start the season.
Yeah, gee, that Dolphins trial side threw a few spanners
Couple
in
of
the
curly
works.
ones. Throw a straight one my way.
Far out. That like the team list from what we're expecting, what we saw last week with a few names and faces, just all over the shop. Averillo to centre being one of those. So really, I'm keen to see what runs out this weekend and if anything changes. But around Herbie, mate, he was fantastic last year. Didn't have a ton of attacking stats. Scored 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 tries in his 20 games. Not bad for a centre, I suppose, but I just think it's super expensive. Again, I'm not sure what to expect from the Dolphins now this year, post-Wayne Bennett era. One I'll have my eye on, probably leading the Origin period. Won't be impacted by that, but I won't be starting with him.
Yeah, for sure. And just on that note with trials, guys, I wouldn't panic too much about how teams are named this week. Just keep an eye on... I think there's going to be a lot of changes within teams during games this weekend. So it's going to be one you're going to actually have to sit down and watch. Jacob Kiraz, mate, the news over the last few days from the one and only Philip Ronald Gould, one of the great Twitter follows of all time. Sounds like he could be out for an extended period, Kiraz. Sounds like they're not too sure when he's going to return.
Yeah, didn't that just come out of nowhere? How disappointing for the doggies and for Kiraz, who strung games together last year, but he's always just had a little injury here or there, a back issue ongoing for Kiraz. So we've seen in the trial team named on the weekend, probably a few hoping we'd get a cheapie in Jonathan Su'a, who was good in the trials week 2. Blake Wilson named there. I do expect it probably to be Wilson and Montoya on the wings with Kiraz gone. But so disappointing for Kiraz.
Yeah, for sure. Dom Young, 701K. Timbo, that Roosters side, I don't know. I just can't trust what's going on there at the moment. There's a few guys in the Roosters backline I'd rather have than Dom Young. Where are you sitting?
I don't like him. He's a genuine super pod. He's at like 1 or 2% ownership, which for a bloke with his upside is incredible. Like, you could start with him and just start with an absolute bang. I'm with you though. There are a lot of new faces at the Roosters. He's going to have a new centre inside him. And I don't know what sort of quality of ball he's going to get on that edge. One of them with Dom, the team list again that were named, I've spoken about them with Desi on the Playbook podcast quite in depth. You've done the same on the Guru channel. Still no Billy Smith?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on. I actually spoke to, and this will sound ridiculous, but when I was at the charity match the other day, I spoke to Hainsey, who had been at the Roosters day before, like their members' day. And he spoke to Billy Smith and said, how's it all going? And apparently he said, yeah, no, I'm good to go. I'm sweet. So I don't know if that means he's just locked into a spot. I don't know how to read it.
Maybe they've just got like...
Surely if you're naming Teddy this week, you're naming Billy Smith if he's available.
I would be stunned if Nwanganaitawazi or Toya were picked ahead of Billy Smith. Maybe they've just gone, you know what? You're good. You're fit. We know you'll do a job and you don't need to hit out. You've got a hectic injury history. Let's not risk it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But, yeah, I thought it was bizarre he wasn't named at all for this game.
Because Billy's in my team. I suppose the easy thing is if Billy isn't named round 1, it'll probably be Toya and Nwanganaitawazi. Locks in a cheapie in Toya, so that's one thing. But yeah, I've got Billy and he wasn't budging for my team unless not named, so one to watch.
All right, Dane Gagai, 694K, been a nice little pod over the last few years. Looked unreal for the All-Stars the other night. Don't think he's going to slow down. I don't have him in my team, mate, but I will be waiting to pick the right moment in season 2025 if he's still doing good things. Any interest?
No interesting gag. I've got from this preseason across articles and pod preps, I've just got players all freaking over the place with stats. So I'll try to find them as we go. But his numbers last year were so absurd.
Insanity, yeah.
Yeah, he was averaging like 50 odd in just base and power with bugger all attacking stats as per the year before. I know you jumped on for the back end.
Yep.
So like I won't be doing it. All that being said, like there's no reason why he can't improve this year.
Yeah.
So here we go. He averaged 71 and 72 the last 2 seasons, 38 in base last year, 6.5 tackle busts per game. So runs, tackles, tackle busts alone, 50 points before any attacking stats.
Yeah, when you have a look across the league last year, he was, 5th overall in tackle. Actually, on average, the top 3 guys that had the most tackle breaks only played 1 game last year. The guys that played more, it goes Teddy, then Gagai, and they were both 6.5. Incredible.
Mental, isn't it? And then, so I just look at it. I'm not going to go near Gagai just because of the price and getting older, etc. And I think maybe the Knights, if nothing else, play a little bit more down the left than they did last year. But, when all these names are thrown up about CTW premiums, Gagai's not going to be in the conversation for many, but there's no reason why he shouldn't be. But, as I said, not for me.
Okay, right, speaking of CTW premiums, we've got 2 coming up here. Brian To'o, 688K. Very interesting, mate. This Penrith, I know they've won X amount of comps in a row and whatnot, but when you look at their trial team that they've named, they are not going to get a hit out before Vegas, essentially. They're just going straight into it.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I get it they don't need the hit out. The club have been together for so long. You'd think maybe they'd just play like the 5'8" and edge back rower or something, just get him a hit out. But
Blaze hasn't defended next to his back row yet. I find that bizarre.
They're just, and then not that you treat any team as an easy beat, but they're going over to Vegas to play the Sharks, who are going to, it's a big game 100%. To start the season. So,
and that's also assuming that Nath Cleary and Edwards are going to play. If they're not, there's more guys into that side that haven't defended together. I think it's wild.
I love the confidence from Ivan and the Panthers. We're good.
Yeah, we'll be right. Yeah, we'll go to the other side of the world and slap the top 4 team. It's crazy. Insane.
To'o. It's hard because we haven't had a look. So do we know what edge he's going to play?
Nope.
Yeah, so there you go.
I would guess he'll play on the left edge. I think that side defensively will have more issues. I think they'd rather have To'o there than a Casey. That's all I'm going off.
It's if you, Brian To'o, 688K, it's a pretty good value.
Yeah.
If he's on the right wing outside Cleary. If he's on the right wing outside Cleary where Dylan Edwards does all his work too, I'd be seriously tempted. But unless we get confirmation of that, you know what? Well, captain's run in Vegas. We'll be able to have a look.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, so be able to have a look.
He hasn't really been on my radar, but I think they're going to be very right edge dominant with Cleary this year and Dylan Edwards. To'o, he's priced on a 70-point average. He was 71 the year before. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yep, don't hate it. Another premium option, Ruben Garrick, I'm very interested in, 680K. Believe he's got a really good start to the season. I've actually got him in my side as it stands right now. I didn't have him previously. Thoughts on Ruben Garrick?
Very keen. Currently not in my team, but weaseling his way in as we speak. So average 70 last season. That included 3 injury-impacted games of 55 minutes in total, that was. Yep. Remove those 3 games, you average 79.16 for the season. His base then goes from 32 to 35. Again, disregarding those 3 injury games, he had 50 in base and goal kicking alone. I think he's a premium with an unbelievable draw to start the season with upside in a Manly team. I think he's going to fire early. I really like him.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. As I said, he's in my side, so I'll be happy to run with him. Daniel Tupu, Mulatalo, Iro, any of these guys interest you, mate? None of them have caught my attention.
No.
Nothing doing. Fletcher Sharp played 5'8" the other day. I thought he looked pretty good there, all things considered. I'm shocked to see Tyson Gamble named at halfback this week, but, I shouldn't be anymore. Sharp, 636K. I don't think I have a big enough sample size to be confident enough to spend that sort of money on a guy like him, Timmy, but I can see a world where he could still do okay there because he's just such a freak, and I can see him and KP doing okay together. Not for me, but I can see a world where we're sitting here in a few weeks' time going, wasn't a bad option.
He's one that could come out and fly.
Yep.
An average.
They've got a good start too, don't they, Newcastle?
They've got, so the 2 best draws, we've got an article up at scplaybook.com at the moment, went up today, fixture analysis that we spoke about. Knights got the easiest draw, Manly got the second easiest. Yeah.
Sharp with the buy in round 4, I believe.
Yes, so I'm not touching Sharp because the uncertainty factor.
Yep.
But, it's a super talented footballer, playing in the halves, developed CTW. He could come out and kill it. Problem is, he's priced on a 65-point average because he had on the wing last year scores of 132 and 125. So there's just no value.
No value. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I do think there's a world where you could start with KP and him and you could do very well for yourself to start, points-wise. I won't be taking the punt.
Yeah.
But with that draw, I think they could light it up.
The other one I feel as well that I'm not starting because of a low floor, but just watching KO Weeks and that try assist off the kick return and how electric he looked, he's one that I'm like, I'm not taking the risk, but he's one who by round 3, you got a fullback playing 5'8". It makes sense. Getting older, getting wiser, learning more, settled in that role because he was 5'8" to start last season and training there, full preseason at fullback. He could come out and go bonkers and everyone could be buying by round 3. That being said, not a risk I'm taking.
Yep, very fair. Jesse Raymond, I had him at points of last year. He was very good, but he had a bit of the monsters to him. I think we said last year, Timmy. He was just always a pass away from getting that 140 score. I'm not looking at him to start the season. Any interest in Raymond?
No, I'll own him at some point, I reckon, but it won't be to start at 635K.
All right, Nick Meaney, Jermaine Osako, two guys I think Nick Meaney's at just about his ceiling at the moment. Jermaine Osako, without Wayne, I'm happy to let him go. I think he had his time.
Yeah, pass.
Dylan Lucas. Now, I believe Dylan Lucas was in Desi's side. I know that he was very high on him a few weeks ago. It looks like he will line up on the left edge, which I think is pretty damn good real estate. Any interest in Dylan Lucas?
I'm not picking him, but I like him, and I would not knock anyone doing it. I'm probably looking at higher upside CT dubs, but then there's the argument of, there's not these big score lines early on. Do you just lock in a reliable 2RF CT dub? I know the Spy's very keen on him. As I said, Desi's got him. So 11 games starting in the back row last year, averaged 67.81. He's priced on a 63-point average. In those 11 games starting, he averaged 52.9 in base. That's good going for an 80-minute edge back rower, running off the hip of Kalen Ponga playing it when he shifts down the left. Not buying him, but he's a good buy.
Yeah, the duel's huge for me too.
Yeah.
I think that was one thing I really lacked last year was a 2RF CTW that I really missed throughout the year. But there are other options. Lucas not in my team at the moment. Murray Chalangi, Junior Pago, Bo Fermor, Lehigh Hopawade. Fuck, Lehigh Hopawade, man. You can't do it, obviously. He just doesn't have a spot. But fuck, man, if something happens during the season that he ends up at fullback or something, I will swallow him up at CTW in a fucking heartbeat.
Spy loves him so much, he had him in his team.
I love him enough to put him on my team. He's like one of my favorite players to watch at the moment.
Yeah, I would pick him in my team in a heartbeat with no knock on Tommy Taliau. I just think Lehigh's a gun and you put him in there. It's just a news flash. I do not coach the Manly Warringah Seagulls, so I'm probably going to change Seabold's mind.
What?
But
Anthony Seabold?
I know.
I thought that was you the whole time.
Cat, but that's the truth to it. Lehigh not starting round 1 to me is just like, what's it doing?
Yeah.
But if anything happens to Tommy, God forbid, and he goes to fullback, just buy.
Yeah, agreed. Now, I'm going to do some of you at home a little flavour. I'm going to skip through some here. So if you've got any of those guys, those pod players I don't mention, you can thank me later. I'm just going to go to more guys that are being spoken about. Bradman Best, 564K. I know you've got an interest in who's who in the Greg Marzu. Bradman Best inside him, 564K. Feels like a bit of value to me. Knights with a good start to the season. Any thoughts on Simply the Best?
Best, he averaged 58 last year in 73 minutes per game. Get rid of his 2 injury games. He averaged 63.67, so a pretty serious uptick there.
Yep.
You mentioned that Ramian had a case of the Munsters. Best has a case of the Ramian of the Munsters.
Nailed that.
Seamless.
That'll stick.
Imagine that's the first line of English you ever heard.
That's good English for me. Where was I?
I think Ramian had a case of the Munsters.
With his base, attacking upside, that's like base before power, before his tackle bars, before any offloads, any of that. He's got silky ball playing. Even take out the injuries. I don't know why Best is not a better SuperCoach player. It adds up to me that he should be better, but he's not. He's not bad, but he's always just been middling.
He's consistently not as good as he should be.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why.
Are you trying to say he's not the best?
Sit over there quietly, okay? I will want another dinner soon. Okay, Bradman Best, I think we're sort of on it. Mate, what about Braden Burns? If he lines up on that right edge, he's got incredible base for a long time. He's going to have good base to stay in that side. Like Kyle Felt really had a big uptick in base late in his career. Braden has always had it. That right edge, Drinkwater just throws these ridiculous cutout balls that could land in the crowd, and Kyle Felt was swallowing them up constantly. Burns could be huge this year. If he was 450K, I think I put him in straight away. 550K, it just feels like a reach. What do you think?
Well, I don't know what wing he played, but to that point, like he played 4 games last year and scored 87, 74, 50 and 75 for an average of 72 points per game.
Yep.
Scored 5 tries in 4 games. So he could land in a freaking gold mine.
In my draft team last year, I had Drinkwater and Felt. I held on to Braden Burns for 15 weeks, just in case. Because I thought if I lose Felt, it doesn't actually matter. It might get better.
And named on the wing in the trial, like it's... And then Robert Darby, the other person pushing for that spot, he was named in the week team last week, so it looks like Burns probably gets it.
And he was named in the week team and had an absolute shocker. I think he's done himself a real disservice.
Yeah, problem with Burns, fired. He can find an injury.
Can find an injury, correct.
Yeah. A super pod, but no.
All right, here we go. Now, we had a conversation at the start. My sort of takeaway from the weekend was, okay, I get where you're all coming from with Hines. I've got some evidence. Timbo, yours was around the Warriors CTW. We've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck here, and we might pair him up with his little mate Leotawa here as well. I'll hand you the floor. Sing for us, my boy.
Little mate Leotawa. Jesus.
Yeah, he's a big bit of gear.
I'd hate to see who his big mate is. I love them both. Roger... It's a new role. It's on the wing. It changes things completely. And like Desi sort of made the point, he looked good last year and not that he had a bad SuperCoach season, but it wasn't, the heights people were hoping for. On the wing, he's going to have more runs, which means he'll bust more tackles. He'll jump over for some easy tries. I think there's a serious uptick there. I'm really interested in Tuivasa-Sheck. Leotawa, he's just a gun. And I look at him... real hard line runner, like a devastating ball runner. Those soft hands he's got, he's going to set up a lot of tries. I'm so tempted by him. I don't know if I can pull the trigger. He's very awkwardly priced at I think about 513K. Under 500, I'd go bang. Yep. A non-goal kicking CTW rookie. There are a few red flags, but you talk about backing your gut and backing eye test. And eye test to me says, get this bloke in.
Yeah, I completely agree. The other day was so impressive that I was sort of thinking the same. I'll tell you what, his hands are so good. I reckon he'll get less try assists than he deserves simply because he touches the ball for half a second and they'll give it to the bloke inside probably.
Oh, that gives me shivers.
It does, but I reckon his hands are that fucking good. I think it's going to happen.
Me starting with him at 0.01%, and then in the first game in Vegas, he has 3 try assists with unbelievable tip-ons, and he gets 12 points worth of contributions for him.
Yeah,
it's a good point though.
I don't think it's a big enough point to not get him, but I do think at some point it'll be a conversation point, simply because his paws are that good.
Yeah, I'm super interested. I really am. I will have, I think, one of these two. I feel like...
Can you have both?
You can. What if the Warriors come out poorly? They've got new halves. You can.
Oh, big. I think you can only go one of them when you consider other... you can go 2 of them, but I just think the Warriors are still such a mystery to me. And, mate, if they go over to Vegas and they get their hearts broken over there, could turn quickly.
I'd lean towards Roger just because of the uptick in role, more tries out there. I'm thinking that he... Did I just say I think about 4? Yeah, you noticed that? I said 4 times. Cool.
Fuck me, right?
I think he will have way more tackle busts off the back of it, so I'm leaning into RTS.
Yeah, I also think, RTS last year... I hear people say all the time he slowed down a little bit, he's getting older. I think it's been pretty evident the last few weeks. He just had a preseason for a centre. Now he's had a preseason for a winger. He looks amazing again.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one of them gun to head, it would definitely be Roger for me.
Does he interest you at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think Yeah, he's highlighted green. He's in my side at the moment. Yeah. So, and there's been some chopping and changing.
I love how in the off season he did open trainings and told fans where he was and said, "Come train with me if you want." I think that's mad.
Yeah, he's a mad guy. Okay, next man, Tuipulotu. I think he's gonna have a big season. 552k is probably a little bit too much for me to spend for a Dragon CTW, but geez, if he drops cash at one point this year, I'll be interested. Selwyn, 550 on the sting again for the Broncos. I think it is his best position. Any interest, Timbo?
I'm certain it's his best position. A big, strong, quick winger. Lock that in. Don't lock him in for Supercoach though. I don't know what the Broncos are going to produce. Tremendous in their trial on the weekend, but there's a lot of new faces and starters coming back in this weekend. We'll get a good look. Mate, Reece Walsh could be there putting it on dimes for him. Yep. Do we know what wing he'll play or not? To be honest, I don't think it matters that much. You're either... Actually,
he'll play right.
I take that back. You want to be on Ben Hunt's edge, right? Based on what happened at the Dragons. I know it's a different halves dynamic, but I feel like...
I think you want to be on the right edge for the Broncos. I think that's where... surely that he'll just put him back with Stags, right? Surely he's not going to move him to the left side.
Who's going to play right half?
I don't know. They're both right side dominant.
Yeah.
If it's Adam... yeah. Yeah, I would be happier if he was right winger than left winger, personally. But
definitely, because I think
Reece Walsh prefers that side.
Walsh prefers that side. Ben Hunt, phenomenal on that side, like for his right wing we saw with Lomax. Oh, I'll tell you what, there's another cheeky little one you could go with. If the Broncos improve, and they should and will, I'm
going to skip a few names down to the man inside him. Katoni Staggs, 514k. I know a bit of a sore spot for you, Timbo, and from a draft perspective, been a sore spot for me. I'm kind of interested. I don't think I'll do it, but I'm kind of interested, and I'm happy to say for the fucking 8th season in a row, I got it wrong on Katoni Staggs again. But this year, I've got a new reason for why I think he's going to do well, and it's Michael Maguire. I can't see Madge being happy with him taking 8 hit-ups a game and going, sweet, pat him on the back, put him back in the garage. Happy to be wrong, as per usual, as I have been for the last X amount of years, but I'm kind of interested in Staggs as a little pod play. I know you won't like it, fucking safety Sam over there with your fluoros, but I'm interested.
You're sick.
You're a sick puppy.
You are sick. How many times have we said this could be it for Staggs, this could be his year? The one time he was on a tear... He did his ACL and cost me... Anyway, I won't go back in that. I won't go back down that well. He's in the trial this weekend, yeah?
I believe so. I can't remember.
They're pretty well full strength.
Yeah.
Him and Gurmat Shibasaki.
Yeah, mate. What a knock from him to get up there. Shibasaki and Jack Goz on the left edge.
I got sent a DM the other day saying Shibasaki was the front runner for centre, and I was kind of like, surely not.
Like, I didn't believe it either.
I didn't. This sounds bad considering I look at footy all the time. I didn't even know he was at the Broncos. I'm like, he's still at the Cowboys, isn't he, or wherever he was?
I think he was at South.
And then I looked him up. He wasn't in the team, like the squad. And he's on a development contract. 2 weeks later, he's starting centre in a full strength team. Like, so there you go. Staggs is playing. So look, no, I'm not going near him. If he comes out and has 20 runs this week, I still won't be interested in him. But you do you, Roo.
When do the Broncos play this weekend? Is that the Sunday or the Saturday?
Saturday, 5:30.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
they played the Dogs at KO Stadium.
Right in the middle of my draft. I'll tell you what, if Staggs takes 2 hit-ups in the first 3 minutes, oh boy, join the squad again, my man. 513k, Greg Marju. I'll give you the floor here. I know you're hot and heavy for Marju. Talk to me. Greg the Leg.
Yeah, he's in my team. I don't see that changing. I thought he looked quite good in the trial. I know the Knights weren't red hot, but you add Ponga back in and that changes everything in terms of the attacking structures and, you know, the quality ball for Marju. He did score a meaty in this one. Mate, I just think he averaged 50 points last year. You know, maybe we're sitting here in a month or 2 months' time and going, all right, that 78 season average was an outlier. The Knights were on a tear. He was getting all the ball. Everything went right last year. Marju with his base, with his power, I think worst case, he averages the same and averages 50 again. Okay, cool, he's chipped along, he's not going to go higher, I'll go elsewhere. But I just think the upside of Marju is far, far better. With Bradman best last season, excluding the two when Best left the field injured, Marju averaged 58. Not a huge uptick, but still an uptick. I just think, I like him.
I have ex-girlfriends that have fucked me over less than Greg Marsh, who has in the last 12 months. Second round draft pick. Then I got him in Classic when no one else owned him and he shit the bed for 6 weeks straight. Then everyone brought him for 200k cheap. But God, it broke my heart. I don't think I can do it again. It's a toxic relationship I can't return to yet.
You can't say that you took a girl for dinner and made her get your $55 steak and call her an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, we'll try. We will try. Look, Greg Marshall, I can't do it, but I can understand where you guys are coming from.
Give me your negatives, why?
Because I said that exact same thing 12 months ago. And I said the same thing in the preseason. I took him
12 months ago, he was priced on a 77 average. He's priced on a 50 average. It's a completely new ball game.
Yeah, for sure. But he's priced at a 50 average because he didn't get any ball down there. I'm not sure what's changed with Newcastle.
So you don't expect him? You expect him to get the same amount of ball?
I think there's every chance he will. Yeah, maybe he won't. And if so, I'll make a move in the first few weeks potentially. But as I said at the start, I am scarred from Greg Marshall. On this one, I would advise you guys listen to the common sense of Timmy because I'm salty as fuck about this, as I thought I made very clear, Timmy.
And if you like Katoni Staggs, listen to Guru because I'm scarred.
Here we go.
I'm scarred.
Motherfucker.
I'm scarred like Katoni Staggs' knee.
All right. With those done, we'll go, Campbell Graham, 505k, not named for the trial this weekend. I think he's just a wait and see for team lists. If he's named, I'm interested. If he's not, I probably don't start with him, I guess. Are you sort of similar boat? Or
I think so, mate. 505k, we know what he can do. I suppose the only maybe slight downside would be just on the right edge. I think the Bunnies are going to send a lot of attack down the left of Cody, Jack White and Ty Munro will be out there. He'll still get decent ball, but I just think at the price, he's going to have good base. I'm keen on him.
Without seeing what your team looks like, Timbo, you're spending a bit of money in your CTWs by the sounds of it.
A little bit. Just while I've got the stats up, 69 average in 2023, missed all of last year.
Yep.
So he's priced on a 51-point average. Let me get my team up for you.
It's all about Campbell Graham if he's on the field for me. If he's on the field, I think he shits in. I think he smashes 5.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen too, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Isaac Tungo, Gerald Skelton, Xavier Coates, Jojo Fafita, Jack Whiten, Moses Sully, Blake Wilson, Kohler, Hopoate, Talakai, Simonson, Grant Anderson, Casey McLean, Rocco Berry, Marky Mark.
Nah.
I'll continue. Alex Johnson, Ravalawa, Dewey, Olam Savage, Howarth, Travojevic, of the Ben variety. Fangai, Valia, Montoya, Staines, Seb Chris, Ty Munro.
Yes.
My biggest concern when Timmy's been talking up Ty Munro is the lack of base. He had 19 runs on the weekend, topped the All-Stars game in 68 minutes. We actually met him this afternoon. He just re-signed on a 2-year deal. Lovely kid. I've never actually met him in real life.
Oh, you hadn't met him?
Kid. No, I'd met him. I posted 1,000 things about him, but I'd never met him
he's so
before.
nice. He came up, said hello.
Yeah.
He's
Really
he's
good kid.
such a good kid.
And like in no shock to anyone, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I think because he's bigger than what he was last year.
He's put on a lot of mass in the last 12 months.
He's a big bit of gear. You've got me on board. I'm interested after the evidence we saw the other night.
Yeah, well, I had him in my team thinking that the base was low and I was taking a gamble, and then you saw him have 19 runs. I'm like, and put on a bit of beef. You're going, all right.
He's got a bit of the Katoni Staggs time under.
He's got none of the Katoni Staggs. I just think,
Needs
mate,
a bit of those Ramians Munsters.
There are no Ramian Munster bests about that. I just think the left wing at the Bunnies is a gold mine.
Yeah.
And I think it is going to be even more so, like Latrell there. Cody being fit's a big one. How'd Cody look today? Was he out there training?
Didn't see him.
No,
was
he
gone
left.
before we got there.
Okay.
I saw him leave. That's as much as I saw.
Was he running?
Running out the door, yeah.
A huge part of that left wing play with Ty Munro is Cody Walker.
Yep.
So if he's there, I think there's going to be a lot of attacking opportunities. I think there's going to be a lot of tries. I would like to see him have a Charity Shield this weekend. Another great game. So hopefully comes out, the work rate's there. But I've got him.
Mate, I noticed in the Cowboys team list this afternoon, obviously, I think it was Purdue was named in the centres, not Zach Labart. So that sort of puts across through him. Junior Tupu's been named on the wing for the Dolphins. If he was to start on the wing, Junior Tupu, we all know the potential this guy has. 380K could be interesting, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see him before round one, realistically.
He was named on the bench.
On the bench, yeah. So I don't know if we're going to see him.
Yeah.
Or how much we're going to see him. I've heard he's got a little niggling injury, so he's touch and go whether he plays. But fuck, man, 380K. God, he looks like such a good prospect to me.
No, I thought he could be one of the buys of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
People, when he first came to the scene at the Tigers in, I think it was 2023, in an ordinary team, he looked incredible. And, this bloke's a future star. Injury troubles, a few other things. He'd already signed with the Dolphins last year. Didn't get a lot of opportunities, but I think he could go up there and kill it. I won't start with him due to job security concerns, see what he can do up there, but I think he's probably going to be a buy at some point.
Yeah, I think he could be a great downgrade option at round 3 from a gun to him. It could be a very good little play. Jack Bird, let's divide opinion. Dual position, 379K. I've got him at the moment. I would start Jack Bird off the bench if I was coaching the West Tigers, so I am worried about his minutes. I noticed he was named on the bench this afternoon. Whatever that means, we'll wait and see. I don't think you were overly keen on Bird a few weeks ago.
I'm not keen on him at all.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
talk to me.
Even if he starts, he's an awkward price. What is he, 350K or something?
380.
Even if he starts at lock, what's he at, 50, maybe 60 minutes? If he gets that, it's all right, he might make some value, but then he becomes a questionable play in 17s. He's heavily injury prone. He's priced on a 39 average. And I'm saying this from someone who I generally think a fit Jack Bird, if he stays fit this season, could be the value buy of the season in the NRL. But
it's a big if.
Yeah, big if with his injury history. How many minutes does he get? I'm just, at the price, it's easy to upgrade an ordinary cheapie from him or a fallen gun, whatever it might be, come round 3 and before that first price rise. I just see him potentially plodding around that 350, 400K mark and achieving not a lot. If he comes out and plays 65 minutes and scores well and looks good the first few rounds, sweet, easy pickup. But I think he's a trap.
Yeah, very fair. Mate, just going down the list, one that I can't believe I'm going to mention because he wasn't even slightly on my radar last week, but I thought Brett Naden looked unreal in the All-Stars game the other day. He's 338K, a little bit cheaper than that of Jack Bird. I do worry Timmy Adam Dewey named at halfback this week. I would assume when Luai's available, he'll probably go to centre, so Naden potentially drops out. We'd obviously wait for team lists on that, but Brett Naden plays like he did the other night. 338K could be a bit of value there.
Really fascinating watch, the Tigers back line. And that I think that's what I want to do is watch, because there are people keen on Skelton. Well, I'm not that keen on a Tigers winger until I see how
it's a little too expensive for me, Skelton, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of interest. I'm not that keen. Could be a fantastic buy, but not one I'm willing to gamble on. I think Adam Dewey at 431K, if he is the goal kicker over Api Coruscant, and Coruscant's suspended round 1, so we probably won't have official word, won't know exactly until round 2, but Dewey's one with upside for me that could easily improve. So, again, a watch, but if Naden gets to start at that price, he's a watch. There could be a couple little gems come out of this Tigers back line, but none that I'm willing to start with.
Yeah, if Dewey's the goal kicker for the West Tigers, that could add 3 to 4 points to his average. Could be enormous, Timmy. Shout out to you, Hammy.
He'll be
some points.
He'll be 450K in no time.
Okay, Carter Gordon, bit of an injury cloud. No, thank you. Isaiah Tass, we've spoken about a little bit, mate. I didn't think he was incredible the other day. I thought he was pretty average in his trial, but man, if he just lands on a South Sydney wing at 327K, I think it's hard to walk past.
As do I. Do we know how long Alex Johnson's out for?
Mate, I've heard so many mixed things on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Don't quite know. Yeah, I've got no idea, to be honest with you.
I don't love the right wing at the Rabbitohs. That being said, hopefully Campbell Graham back helps. But yeah, priced on a 34, or it might be even a little bit less average. But the years prior averaged 57 and 54. I said we're all expecting better things, significantly better things from the Bunnies this year. Latrell still plays really good footy on the right edge and has a great cutout ball. So he's one of them ones where you're paying, maybe it's 60 to 80K more than another cheapie, but job security is going to be better. attacking upside's going to be better. His base is a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in one thing that does concern me is I've got Munro and Campbell Graham. I don't really want three bunnies, from their back line, but it's tempting.
Mate, without jumping all over the place, I just noted Starford Towers at 288K. I don't know what his SuperCoach credentials are. Maybe he's that low for a reason, but fuck, when I just eye test him when he's on, he looks like a better player than 288K to me.
Yeah, he played games off the bench last year. 3 games, 13 points in 4. His minutes were 48, 15 and 68. So he gets the discount value based on only playing a few games and only played limited minutes. So that's why. But in years prior, averaged 49 in 2023. Before that, 41, 39, 40. So another one. If he starts, yeah. Yeah, okay, interesting. I hadn't noticed him before. Mate, the other one on that list that I just skipped over, also shout out to Hayes Perham, did his ACL the other day. That fucking sucks. So we want to wish him all the very best. Billy Smith, 317K. Did we already talk about Billy Smith on the show, or was that pre-show? No, that was on the show.
Yeah,
that was on
we
the show. Good,
it.
sorted. Thank you. Very good looking rooster. Tommy Chester, Josh Felady, Jackson Purdue's 257K if he lines up at centre for the Cows. Thoughts?
If he's named, I play him.
Named, you play him. Yep. Mate, is there anyone else? We've got Tamale from the Raiders. I love the guy. I've talked him up all pre-season. Hopewade, I think I would have his last 2 games I've seen, granted trials, I'd have them in 2 of his best 5 games I've seen. He's been fucking incredible. I'm not sure if Tamale holds on to that spot returning from Vegas.
To add into that, I just think I don't like the left winger outside Ethan Strange. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at numbers from last year, but I know the way Ethan Strange plays his footy. He's a ball running 5'8".
Yeah.
I do not think they create space well on their edges, particularly their left edge. And I just, watching the game the other night as well, I just don't see him getting a lot of try-scoring opportunities. So then you add in the lack of job security. Put it this way, I'll be trying to get other cheapies ahead of Tamale.
Yeah.
If we're lacking cheapies, might be forced into it. But I'm not confident. That's got nothing to do with his ability. I'm just not sure. There are a few red flags.
Yeah, I agree with you. As much as I like him, I agree with you.
Not that you need a near bottom dollar cheapie to be able to play in his 17 each week, but there will be occasions where you might have to, and I do not feel good about playing. Like there could be some very low ones.
Yeah, very fair. As you said, mate, playing outside Stranger stuff. Playing outside Sepp Chris can be tough as well. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Mate, I'm going through the list. Not a heap more is jumping out at me outside of Robert Toya. Similar boat, guys. If named, we start with him. Is there a world to me if he's not named? You start with him because he'll get in eventually and he'll do something? Or?
Yes, and the other one there is Jesse McLean at 234K, where I don't think he plays round 1, but let's say he doesn't. He's one injury away from being in the best backline, arguably in the NRL. There'll be points, and he'll be a must-have at some point at the price, I think, and he'll be very playable in 17. So Toya or McLean, if we're a bit light on for CT dubs, you could easily start with them. Kale Iro last year.
See you on draft day, boys. Okay, CTW, are we done and dusted?
Yes, we are, mate.
Okay, let's move to 2RF. All right, so a lot of these guys would have already, or a few of these guys would have covered when it came to front row forwards, or did we push them all to 2RF, did we?
No,
If so,
I think we would have
kick past me in the arse.
Yeah, no, I think we would have been wise enough to talk about the good 2RFs. If they're in the front row, we would have spoken about them there.
Hope so. Good. Gussie Crichton, haven't seen him yet, won't see him yet until pre-season. Elite second rower in the game. 758K, I do feel like it's a lot of bicky for a guy in a team that I've got question marks around. Thoughts?
You're right on the amount of bicky being a lot.
Yeah,
he's expensive, but he's also, give or take, Dave Fafita, the best in the position with serious upside. He's had the 2 games back last year from Cup. I think he played 25 and 26 minutes. So there's a potential argument he's slightly undervalued on his 78-point average. I'm just looking to spend up elsewhere, but you could near enough set and forget him. Like, he's that good. The problem is you then go into Origin and does he lose minutes around there or have rest? I won't be starting with him, but he's probably the best 2RF in the game.
I'm going to pair this with the next guy. I know he's under a bit of an injury concern, Dave Fafita, but he did play on the weekend, so I think we can chill on that. Mate, I just look at Angus Crichton. He's 758K coming off a career high year as a Dally M second rower. Dave Fafita had a bang average year. He's 10K cheaper at 750K. Seeing what we saw on the weekend from the Titans does concern me. I know Fafita's got the buy in round one. That doesn't worry me as much as others. I'm planning on having Fafita in my side.
Are you?
Yeah, is Desi?
No.
That shocks me to my fucking core. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like having Fafita. I think he's got a lot of growth to be had this year.
Desi's got Hopgood, your boy.
I don't mind that. Didn't you have Hopgood too? Or was it,
No,
it was
I
always
didn't.
Desi.
Fafita. Titans were so freaking ordinary on the weekend.
Yep. They were impressively bad.
Yeah, I do worry a little bit that he has done his best Supercoach and NRL work with Kieran Foran inside him.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to get that. I mean, even on the weekend when Foran played, he was on the other edge, feeded to him. So I'm not going to knock it, mate. He could come out and just bang the door down and average 85, 90 from the get-go. If he was sitting there and playing outside Kieran Foran from round one or round two when they play, that'd be a different story. He'll be outside Jaden Campbell or AJ Brimson or whoever it might be, and I just don't have as much confidence.
Yep.
Yeah, so
very fair.
not for me.
I'm looking at Dave Fafita. I actually don't mind the buy in the start because I think it'll scare a lot of people off, and it'll mean that if he is going shit after 2 weeks, I'll be able to downgrade him before he loses money. So that's sort of part of my thinking. But yes, it's obviously 750K in your 2RF. It's hard to do. Isaiah Yo, 727K. Good on Isaiah Yo. It's unreal. I just think if I'm going to spend that much money on a 2RF, I want someone who's capable of going 120 on any given week. I don't think he fits into that class for me. The other top 7, 8, potentially 9 2RFs do. It's mad. Isaiah will always get me 65 to 73, but I want more upside.
Yeah, I'm with you. He averaged 74 last year and was definitely one of the ones who snuck under the radar. Unbelievably consistent, 55 in base. The upside just isn't there. He had 2 tons all year. It was in round 25 and round 26. Raiders and Bunnies. Bunnies had thrown the towel in by that point and he went 122. Before that, as I said, he was 60 to 80, which is fine. But if you pay out that much from round one, you want some sort of upside there, right?
Yep, completely agree. Eli Katoa, I was the only person on this green earth that didn't own him at any point last year.
Wow.
717K. Mate, I went around for the Roo Crew about 4 weeks ago and just asked senior players from each team who's impressed in the preseason. Asked 2 Melbourne Storm players. They both came back and said Eli Katoa has gone to a new level. One of them said, I know that's crazy after his Dally M second row, but they said as a leader around the club, he's just come back a new person. So I do wonder if there is a little bit of value in him. The counter argument to that is he was playing on the edge outside the Dally M medalist last year. It couldn't have got any better. I'm not starting with him, but I know the Melbourne Storm, I think he's in for a big season.
Man, I'd be tempted to start with him over like Fafita and even Crichton. And Fafita's not that much more expensive, is he, off how good Katoa was. But I know this is hard because they were minor premiers last year, Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were.
Minor premiers and made the grand final, but I think they're going to be better.
Yep.
And there's no reason why Jerome Hughes isn't going to be better. Eli Katoa can definitely be better, as you said. I just think the attack's going to keep coming. He's devastating. So no origin to contend with. He's probably in the best back rows in the game. Actually, could easily get 750, 800K, maybe not early on, but you could set and forget Eli Katoa.
Devil's advocate, Cam Munster coming back in. Does the right side get less ball, potentially?
Potentially.
Wish he was going pretty damn good on that edge, though, to be fair.
Yeah. And I just feel like the reins have shifted. It's Jerome Hughes' team now. Maybe because Munster had a niggling injury last year that played into it.
Yep.
Cam Munster, very interesting watch this weekend after getting named.
Watch.
Very interesting. Yeah, look, I'm just not looking to spend that much on a back rower, personally. But I think I reckon you could argue that he's undervalued and he could go up.
Next 2 guys I absolutely love, but I won't be considering. Hudson Young and Britton Nikora, 2 of the better back rowers in the league. I'm not looking at them, though. Thoughts?
Pass.
Olaquatu, 665K. Timmy, I love Olaquatu. I think he's a tremendous player. I just worry about, he constantly gets talked about as this high ceiling player. Man, I had a look through his stats a few months ago, and I don't have them directly in front of me, but I think it was 400s in the last 2 years or something, and the hundreds were both against the West Tigers at the back end of the season when they were completely shot ducks. I think he's a very good player. I'm a fan of him. I think people hold him from a Supercoach point of view a little bit higher than where he probably should be. I don't think he's quite in that Fafita Angus tier personally. What do you think?
Yeah, he's got a bit of the best Ramian Munsters about him.
Yes. Welcome to the club, kid.
Doesn't he, though? Like, you just sit there and go, he busts a ton of tackles. His base is surprisingly good. Like 43 per game. It's not terrible. You'd want a bit more from an 8-minute back row, but he busts a shitload of tackles. He offloads. He scores tries. Yet the last 2 seasons, he's averaged 68 and 69. I'm like, I look at his game and everything he does and go, why aren't you averaging 85 plus?
Yep.
And I don't have an answer.
Yep. Nor do I. It's weird. Yeah. When I went through his numbers and I compared it, I think the numbers I went through for Fafita had, I think, 1,400s in the last 2 years. Olaquatu had 4 or something. Like, it was a huge difference.
Running off chairs in a very good attacking side. I thought there were. I'm with you. I thought there would be more. And
Yep.
Look, really soft manly draw to start the season. Again, off chairs. Tommy Turbo backs great. He sweeps outside. People have all eyes on him. Ola goes, thank you, and strolls through. I think he's a decent buy. I do. But I feel like we also say this every year and he goes to average 65 to 70 sort of thing.
I think did I start with him last year or the year before?
One of them, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and he scored 3 tries off kicks in the first 4 weeks and he averaged like 55.
I will say this, at 665K, he's not going to let you down with if you
could
start
do
with
heaps
him.
worse.
Like,
Yeah.
he could, I think at worst, he averages a little bit less early on and drops to 630K. I was like, cool, not the best, but whatever. But the upside is he could average 85 over the first 5-6 weeks. So I don't mind the buy. Yeah.
Yeah, very fair. Mitchie Barnett, 661K. My concern is, mate, when he was on the edge last year, he absolutely killed it. I'm not interested. Any interest from you?
Nah, I think we covered him in front row too.
Hopgood, 657. Desi's got him, which tells me he'll be worth $1 million in 4.5 weeks. I love him. I don't know, mate. I hadn't even really considered him. What's Desi's logic?
I'll get the art. I've got his article up, his team reveal on site. What's he's got for? It'll just be like set and forget or something. Simply one of the most consistent players in Supercoach and coming into his peak of physicality, turning 26 this year. Fair. We know he also has tons in him. If you can jag an attacking stat here and there, which is well within his footballing ability, add in an offload license, you have a guaranteed 70 every week with which to build the rest of your second row around.
I'll tell you what, the day I break my back, can someone then say a few months later I'm coming into my physical peak? That'd be unreal. He will kill it though, I have no doubt. Desi's a fucking freak at this shit.
Few numbers. I do think he's a bit of a forgotten man.
He's a forgotten man, yeah.
Yeah, so 2023, he averaged 73 in his first full year in the NRL. Minutes reduced from 66 to 60 in the last 2 seasons. Mate, excellent offload. Should play big minutes, has like great ball playing. There'll be try assists. He can score a try. I think Hopgood's a decent buy.
Yeah, look, I haven't put that too much thought into him.
Yeah.
You make a good argument. And yeah, if he does average 70, I won't be shocked. So each their own. Patrick of the Carrigan variety moving into the front row.
Yes.
He'll get dual position, I assume, in the first few weeks?
Round 6.
Round 6.
I hadn't actually really thought of that, but
It's not a bad little play.
yeah.
Could do heaps worse. 640K.
Wouldn't start with him. I'd wait till he gets... I don't like him at 2RF because there's way better options with higher upside. But once he gets the dual and you can get him at front row...
Yeah, we'll talk about him then. Jeremiah Nanai, 619K. I have too many concerns around the Cowboys and their performances. I will say this about Nanai. He used to be 600K because he'd score 30 tries. His base has improved a lot over the last few years. So I think Nanai is one of those guys, if you can get him on one of those hot streaks, thanks for coming, you're going to kill it. I don't know if I'll ever be one of those guys.
Yeah, he had 38 in base last year.
Yeah.
And scored 13 tries or something. Like, yeah.
What was his base last year?
38.
Oh, so it had gone up. It's still
It's still gone up, but yeah.
The guy that's going to nail an I'll have his hat on backwards, and I'm not cool enough to go. I know that for sure. Keon Kolomantangi looks fit as a fiddle. 619K. I assume he'll play on the edge. I would assume, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would assume he's overpriced because of his incredible minutes that he played through the middle and his incredible scores he came up with. I'm not interested. You? What say you?
If once in your life you are correct, mate. So you have 63 points in 74 minutes last season. On the edge where we expect him to start, averaged 56.5 in 12 games in 2024, a down tick. So not to say he can't improve this year. And the fact that, Bunnies should be far, far better than last season. There should be more attack. He can be better, but on those numbers, it's hard to start him.
Cameron Murray, 200, I'll take him. 610K. We're actually out south today. He was doing a bit of a fitness test next to us. I would guess from what I saw, and I'm not a physio or a doctor, which will shock many of you at home, I think he's probably going to be unlikely for round one based on what I saw today. But 610 feels like a discount for Cam Murray. I know you are number one in the fan club of Cam Murray.
I love Cam Murray so much.
Yeah. Really, yeah. I mean, in person, he's even better looking than what he is on TV.
You know what? I'm glad you said he's probably won't play round one with your medical insight, just so I don't have to contend with the decision to put him in.
Yeah.
Because I want him so bad. None of the stats really suggest that he's a buy. 610 is a great price. 62 point average in 69 minutes last season. The big one for me is, and this is where I'm so biased, but he played 14 games last year, scored 2 tries and set 1 up. Cam Murray is so much better than that.
That's unders. Yeah.
It's massive unders. The fact that he's in that, what was wrong with him with your eye test at training? Because it was a bloody hand injury. Was he not catching well or something?
No, he's just like they were doing. They were doing more than hand tests for him. Did you see that this afternoon, Kat? He was down on all fours. They were doing things with his back, and I reckon it's slightly more than a hand injury.
But they were rehabbing his hand.
Yeah.
They were doing hand exercises.
Yeah.
Good. I want the Dow. I don't want to. He'll be in my team at some point, but I don't need to start with him.
Yeah, we'll be guided by team list anyway on that one. But yeah, I just body language today. I didn't think it looked great. I also shook his hand. So with my handshake, his hand might be in 3 pieces by now.
Yeah, he was actually good to start in round one. Then you shook his hand and he went into the rehab ward.
No, he actually started shaking his hand before the rehab. The rehab was because of the handshake.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Jacob Preston, 609K. I have concerns that he might not play 80 minutes, and I just think there's better options around.
It blows my mind that there's serious chat that Satilli takes minutes off and he might play 50 or 60 or whatever. I hate it, but I've heard the same stuff. And
it's wild.
Yeah, just like too big a risk. I know the Spies
and especially now that Satilli hasn't been named this weekend, you're pissing in the wind.
Yeah. Like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, again, one that the Spies really keen on. I think if he plays his 80 minutes, he's such a good attacking player. Could improve, but there's just a few red flags, and that's the main one.
All your Spy. Going down this list, Isaiah Papali'i is probably the next one that interests me. I just don't know what it's going to look like. Now that we haven't seen a trial, he played on the left edge the entire trial the other day, but we haven't seen Scotty Sorensen. Both can play edge, middle. Yeah, there's just a bit of mystery there for me. And if he ends up in the middle, I won't be stoked. What are you thinking?
He was in my team all preseason. I'm going cold on him.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
I didn't love that he played in the first trial when there was no one there, really.
And that they didn't pair him with Blaze. That was the thing that shocked me.
Didn't pair him with Blaze. If I'm picking him, there was a massive downturn in scoring from the Eels to the Tigers, in no shock to anyone. But he wasn't bad. He still averaged 60 last year.
Yep.
So if I'm buying him, I need him playing 80 minutes on the edge. Even if he gets named to start in Vegas, there's no guarantee he plays 80. Yeah, look, he's in my team for the moment, but yeah, I'm definitely going cold on him. Team list will tell a bit of a story, but if he plays anything less than 80 on the edge, I don't see him improving much. And then you add in, as we said, we think the right edge, Cleary and Liam Martin and all that, they'll get a lot of ball. It makes sense. new combination with Talangi, who's in a new position. Yeah, there's a few concerns. So getting cold.
Yep. Next name I'm going to go. I'm not interested in him, despite me loving him. Ruben Cotter, 560, only 2RF this year. Was dual position last year. Maybe there's a bit of value at 560, but I'm not overly interested myself.
Yeah, I'm not. It's spent
It is a reduced rate, I think, but
why is it a reduced rate?
I don't know. I feel like he's a 60-point guy usually.
Oh, okay. Definitely not 2RF.
Yeah.
At front row forward, there's always an option because he just plugs away and gets shit done. But no, not at 2RF only.
Scrolling through these names, nothing's overly jumping out at me. Tino, we already did him.
We did him in front row.
Tyson Frizzell, 528K, moving into the middle. I love him in the middle. I think it's the spot he should be. My only concern is that when Adam Elliott is back, what do the minutes look like there? So Tyson Frizzell's a no for me.
I've no interest.
Kai Pearce-Paul moving to the other side. I think it'll be good for him, but I think he's priced pretty fairly at the moment. John Bateman, 522K. I liked him when he first signed there. I've gone cold. I kind of just want to see if John Bateman's still who we think he is.
Pass.
Yep. Hosking pending injury. I've thought that Pommy actually looked pretty good, so I've gone cold on him as well. Anyone else there, Timbo? What about Dylan Walker if he plays 60s? 484K.
I'm going to blow your mind, Guru. Dylan Walker last year.
No, I can tell you, he's my favourite player in drafts. What do you average, like 60 points or something?
50.
Yeah.
How many minutes do you reckon he averaged?
Like 60?
63.
Yeah, I know. He plays a lot of minutes, man. Especially last year when Tohu Harris was out, he stepped up minutes. It was one of my great regrets of the draft season because he was available at 5'8" and I let him go. Fuckhead.
Yeah, well, like when Tohu announced his retirement, as my head tends to do, straight to Supercoach.
Yeah.
No. And I just went, Dylan Walker, sweet. Minutes uptick, could be a starting lock. In my head, I'm like, cool, could get 60 to 65 minutes. I'm like,
minutes can't go up that much.
I went in and looked, I'm like, he averaged 63 minutes.
Yeah.
So
does a lot of link man work.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's a bit of the Jake Travojevic is doing.
Sammy Alafino's one.
Okay.
517K. I know a lot of people are pretty high on him. Very good footballer. Full season in the NRL under his belt. Priced on a 53-point average. He's 16 games of 80 minutes last year, averaged 57, so I think he's undervalued a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just an eye test, like a bloody good footballer. So don't mind it at 517K. Like, he's a pretty good price.
If he plays left edge with Luai stepping off that edge every time, I'm probably less keen. I think he'll get less balls.
Yeah, I think you probably want him right off Galvin, who just pins in the line, he can pop one to him kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, fair shout. Who else have we got here? Jackie Williams.
Jackie boy.
Talk to me. 455K. We spoke about this on Bloke the other day. I read it as he's been put in the leadership group that locks him in for minutes. I think he's starting on the weekend, starting with Whittemore Greg. So Junior Paulo's got to take one of those jerseys. I'll give you the hot tip whose jersey I'd be taking out of Whittemore and Jack Williams. I reckon there's every chance he starts in the front row.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it.
I reckon he could play more minutes than Junior.
Yeah. I think he probably does play more than Junior.
I'd assume he will, yeah.
Yeah. He's only available at 2RF. He's another one where I'm just like, I want upside if I'm going in a back rower. So he's another one who if he starts front row, he'll get that jewel in round 6. But he's priced played 46 minutes last year.
Yeah.
So just not at 2RF for me, no.
Yeah, fair. Mate, I'll just mention him because we would have spoken about Takiaho last time, but fuck, he was good in that trial the other day. And he got through a lot of work. He's starting in the front row on the trial this weekend. He's one that I wasn't interested in a few weeks ago. Now I'm sort of just, I just want to watch him for another week.
He's awkwardly priced.
He's very awkwardly priced, 100%.
You know what? Not even awkward. Like, he's expensive. 453K. Got that dual 2-hour front row forward, but I don't think there's going to be the minute. Even if he does come and kill it this weekend, I don't think the minutes are going to be there, but he played like 10 games or something in 2 years.
I think Paseka's injured. Like, the minutes might be there.
Nah, Paseka's good for round 1, I think.
Okay, sweet.
He did get hurt, but I think he's been cleared.
Okay.
He played like 10 games in 2 years, Takiaho, in the Super League. And he's come back at 453K.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wild.
That's very harsh.
Okay, next names that I like. Alex Seyfarth, I'm interested in, 435K. He's a big watch for me this weekend. I think he has a little breakout season for the Tigers, but I just think there are better options, including the man under him, Kelma Tuolangi. Talk to me about those two.
Seyfarth is priced on a 44-point average from 48 minutes. 3 games of 80 minutes he had to end last season. He averaged 63 points with 45 in base. The numbers say yes. It's a small sample size. Do we think he's going to be an 80-minute edge?
Once again, mate, I don't know how many
there?
options the Tigers fucking have.
And if they're playing Bird in the middle, if he's an 80-minute edge, sure, he's a buy. I'm not going to start with him, but he could easily be around 3 buy.
Yep, yeah, I completely agree. It'll be a big watch. Kelma locked into my team. I think he looks sensational. I think he could be a smoky for Dally M second row of the year outside Mitch Moses.
Huge. Yeah, he's been in my team for...
Yeah, we've had him for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, I've actually just going through these.
I think I had him the day before you.
Please. Where are my numbers on him? Going through the... All right, here we are, Parramatta Eels. Kelma.
His numbers say copy guru.
That'll do me. He's priced on a 44-point average from 51 minutes per game in 2024. 6 games of 70 minutes plus last season. He averaged 65.67. Do we think he plays 80?
I do.
I think probably as well. Targs are so many freaking edges at the Eels, but yeah, I've got him in that ripping try he scored off Ronald Volkman on the weekend. Yeah, lock in.
Lock and load. Yep. Charles Duncan, very impressive in the Indigenous game. Would have been right up there with the best on ground for me. 420K. I don't know where he starts, Tim. If he manages to land on an edge, which he's starting there this weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Just as I'm convinced he's a middle, he's back on the edge. That's my only thing. I'm just like, fuck, I don't know. I don't know if he knows what he is just yet. I'm convinced South Sydney haven't worked it out yet, which is fine. But from a SuperCoach point of view, I think there's value in him, but I want that security of knowing what it's going to look like week to week.
I think Charles Duncan will be a buy this year at some point, but round 1 is not that point.
Yeah.
There'll be injuries and more minutes will come, and when they come, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. One that's become a little bit more relevant to me that I'll just mention, similar to Takiaho, Sam McIntyre, he starts this weekend. If he holds onto that starting spot, dual position, 396K, he could be a little bolter in the front row, as could Aaron Clark, who we've already spoken about in front row, but he's a big watch this weekend too. Even with Dylan Walker on the field, he's getting through a lot of work. So we'll keep an eye on him too.
Yeah, we'll keep big watches this weekend.
Yeah,
Clark and McIntyre, yeah. McIntyre, sorry.
Sure, Jack Bird's not getting 2 features, I'll tell you that much for free.
Here's one.
Hit me.
Simi Sasangi.
Oh, fuck. Mate, I remember when he got dropped to reserve grade last year, I was like, fuck. Then I went and watched reserve grade. He had 11 missed tackles. I was like, okay, I get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Defends like me, I get it. Yeah, shout out to Timmy doing good things. First try scorer in the trial the other night. Good gear. Jazz Tavanga, if playing hooker at the start of the season, 368K, will play a bit of hooker, will then shift into a middle. I feel like it's been a few years since I've fallen for the Jazz trap, but I have been known to do it in the past. Any interest?
No.
Finay Fuiaki, give me something, Timbo. Surely something, some interest, bit of movement.
Yeah, he's in my team at the moment.
Yeah, good.
I'm not super sold on him. My concern is minutes.
Yeah.
Does he get 80 or not? He's a big boy.
I think he'd be able to handle 80.
I mean, he's done it numerous times last season, so there's no reason why not. I just don't know if it's going to happen or not.
I know they've been very impressed with him. I think we'll have a better idea in a few weeks about Finay Fuiaki, so stay tuned.
He's priced on a 38-point average from 54 minutes per game last year, so he has to be 80 minutes because the base isn't great. The attack will come because he's a beast.
Yep.
But we need 80.
Yep, for sure. Naf White, named on the bench this week. Whether that's a concern or not, I don't know, Tim. Fuck. For years, it was called Ricky Roulette with their forwards. It's Robinson Roulette now. I just don't know. I think Ricky's become pretty consistent over the last few years. I think it's time we shifted over to Robinson Roulette because I just don't know.
I like it.
Robinson Roulette?
Yeah, not Nafu White.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you what, I want to send a personal message to Trent Robinson. don't name Sia Wong in 13 and not let him play there. My wee heart can't take it.
Don't toy with the rule again.
It's not fair.
But White, Wong, White and Wong.
White Wong. Yep. I don't know where you're going with that, but proceed.
No, that's a really good name.
Are we just naming roosters?
It's just a great team. It's just a great team name.
Andrew Lomu.
It's just a great team name. White and
What's
Wong.
White from Wong?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. You didn't pick that up at the start, did you?
No,
He
I
didn't.
didn't. No, I just thought you were trying to name roosters. Anywho, let's return.
My point though is that I want to see round one play out and see what the rotation looks like. Because to your point, Robbo Roulette, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if Radley's going to play middle or edge or what. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it depends what they pick out of the hat at the start of the game.
There could be a golden buy there somewhere. I don't know who it's going to be.
Don't know who it's going to be. And whoever that golden buy is could not be the golden buy in 3 weeks' time.
Exactly.
It's just, no thanks. Robertson Roulette. Let's start that trend, as the kids say. Corey Horsburgh, dual position. We already spoke about him. He'll be in front row. Don't get mad at me, Tim. Anyone else that's jumping out at you there? Matty Nicholson, I think he looks good, but just that other good-looking fella. Do we dare go down the Wong path? Because I'm happy to.
I think we just went down it, didn't we?
Okay. I like to double dip the chip sometimes. Anyone else?
Josh Schuster's highly owned. I don't think he plays round one. So
saw him in the gym today throwing a bit of tin around. I don't think he plays round one either.
Yeah, so I think that's a huge trap.
Now, when we're talking traps, let's talk about the OG Trapperella.
Yeah.
Jack Gollers, 232K, starting that edge. I refuse to believe this is anything else other than Madge trying to stick a rocket up Percura's ass.
And I just think that even if he does, Percura was named in the 23 today.
It's fucked. It's insane.
I just think
Imagine him going back to Q Cup.
Yeah.
Taking on tradies on Saturday.
Yeah. Even if Gajewski does play 80 minutes in round one and Percura's, firstly, it'd be huge if Percura wasn't at least on the bench, which means Gajewski probably doesn't play 80. He almost certainly doesn't play 80 actually, unless he went to the middle. Secondly, if Percura was in Q Cup, by round two he could be starting the NRL again and Gajewski could be in Q Cup.
Yep.
Going back a few 80-minute games, Gajewski for the Cowboys in 2023, 47 points in 80 minutes, 41 in 80, 52 in 80 with a try, 72 in 80 with a try and line break, 33 in 52. The base isn't there. The attacking upside isn't there. Job security isn't there. If it was an 80-minute edge back rower, locked in, sure you'd buy him and he'd make good coin. I think he's a trap.
I will say this about Jack, and I completely agree with everything you just said. The guy seems to get first grade contract after first grade contract. There must be something there that these guys are seeing.
He's a Madge guy. He's a hard worker.
That's what concerns me.
Yeah, his 1%ers would be there.
Yep.
All effort, all the effort areas would be there, and Madge loves that kind of stuff. And Percura, from what we've seen, potentially doesn't have that sort of stuff about him just yet. So that's why he's there, and that's why there's a rocket up Percura's ass. So I just don't see it lasting long term.
Neither do I.
And if after 2 rounds, Gajewski comes out, plays 80 both games, scores well, I'll buy him, but I'm feeling trapped.
One that I just want to keep an eye on for team list. I think it's unlikely, depending on how he goes this weekend, though. Katoga from the Parramatta
Huge
Eels.
watch.
Kat kind of knows him. I said to her a year ago in trials, what do you think? What sort of a player is? And she goes, he's a nice guy. That was her.
Don't make
analysis.
it sound weird.
No, I'm not making it sound weird. It was funny, though, Kat.
I just said he's a nice guy.
I think that's exactly what I said.
And what have you gone on to use to describe multiple players since? You always call them nice.
Yeah, fair.
Fun cat at the start of the show.
Whoa,
Fun cat at the start of the show.
I'm in trouble.
Has very quickly turned into tired and cranky cat.
Okay, we're just having a joke. Okay, next I'm going to go with... my God, these 4 Warriors, they're in a row.
I'll jump in for you. I reckon between Halasima, Laban, Volmaga, round one team watch, right? We don't know. I don't know what your predicted Warriors team has. I'm with not a lot of confidence have Laban on the edge starting, Ford's in that middle rotation by looks at then Volmaga off the bench. Halasima maybe sneaks onto the bench. What have you got?
I at the moment have Laban and Vimalga in my team at the moment. Pending team list. I plan to have at least one of them, potentially two of them.
I think whoever starts on the edge, you pick.
Yeah.
And then
Eye test for the bench spot. If
Yeah.
they both happen. I don't think they'll both be there. I think one of them will be there.
Well, I think two of Halasima, Laban, and Vilmarga will be there, right?
Yeah, sorry. I think Laban will be on the edge.
Yeah.
Then I think one of Haliasima
Yes.
or Vomega will be on the
I
bench.
think Vilmarga, but I don't say that with confidence.
Yep, nor do I. Both very talented.
Yeah.
Charlie Geimer, I reckon he's a sniffed. He feels like a Jason Riles guy to me. He's obviously shown Riles early. He's not afraid to shake the boat. Charlie Geimer is a goer. I would not be shocked at all to see him in round one named in this side. And if he is and he can just get 30, 35 minutes, he'll tackle his way to 100K, I think.
I was a Jason Riles guy back in the day, mate.
I refuse to believe
One
that.
of his club favourites. He said,
I refuse to believe
he said, I think the quote was, "You could be anything, Williams."
that. Oh, fuck off. Please.
And then
I will sue you, Riles. Watch yourself.
And then I chose the journalism path
I back that.
via West second grade.
But Geimer, if he's named for the Eels, he has got a little bit of my attention.
Would he have to start?
I don't think he'll start. I think he'll come off the bench, but depending on who he's on the bench with,
Bench makeup's key. If he goes a
There's
4
two
forward,
hookers. Yeah.
yeah, team list, as you
Yeah,
said.
team list dependent.
If there
yes.
was to be a rogue little utility back on there like Joash Papali'i, that'd change a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Reading down this list, Lachlan Hubner, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets decent minutes in round one, but I think he'll be a trap once Cam Murray returns. Anyone else on that list that tickles your fancy, Timothy?
Mate, I think we've done a good job.
I think we've
well.
done a good
I'm
job
done.
as well. You're done, are you?
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to give a shout out to my laptop sitting at 2%. I've nailed the timing here. Very good to see. We done and dusted?
Yeah.
Red Rover?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next time you see us, we will be in Las Vegas. We've got some enormous announcements coming your way that are going to be really cool for this season. So brace yourself. Haven't described something as really cool in a while. Didn't feel comfortable. Didn't like it after I said it, but we'll move. Some big announcements coming your way. Join the Beers and Breakevens comp. Code is somewhere on this screen. Go listen to SC Playbook from last night. Fucking fantastic episode. And we'll see you in Las Vegas. Anything else? It's too late. Let's go home. Love you. See you next time.